Hi kids! Are you ready for our next lesson in English 1? Our topic is about details in short stories or poems with Tagalog translation by Teacher Malou. We are on quarter 3, week 5 to 7. Let's start!
Are you familiar with short stories and poems? You have possibly read and listened to these different stories and poems, such as fairy tales and other bedtime stories. These stories and poems tells us what the characters feel and do. They may also teach us important lessons in life. By reading or listening carefully to the stories and poems, you are able to determine the important details pertaining to the given topic, characters, setting, and other events. By knowing these details, you are able to answer questions asked related to the given stories or poems. Have you received a gift before? Read the story below. You may also listen to it by asking your parents or guardian to read it for you. But this time, I will read this story. The title of the story is about the new toys. Jay and Joy have new toys. Jay has a new toy car. It is small but shiny. Meanwhile, Joy has a new doll. It is big and beautiful. Their Tita May gave these gifts to them during their birthday. She hid them before the table to surprise them. They hurriedly looked for the hidden gifts. When they saw them, they immediately opened them. They jumped for joy when they saw their new toys. They were just what they wished for. They thanked and kissed their tita. They loved their new toys. Okay, ang sabi dito, ang pamagat ng kwento ay tungkol sa kanilang bagong laruan. Si Jay and Joy ay merong bagong laruan. Ang nakuha ni Jay ay isang laruang kotse. Ito ay maliit but shiny. Si Joy naman ay may bagong manika. Ito naman ay big and beautiful. Binigay ito ng kanilang tita May nung kanilang birthday. She hid them before the table to surprise them. Ang ginawa ni tita, itinago niya ito sa ilalim ng table or behind the table sa likuran nito. They hurriedly looked for the gifts. Nagmadali si Jay and Joy na hanapin ang gifts. Nung nakita na nila, nagmadali silang buksan ito at nagtatalon sa tuwa dahil ang gusto nilang laruan ay ang kanilang mga wish. Pinasalamatan nila ang kanilang tita May at binigyan ito ng matunog na halik. Mahal nila ang kanilang bagong laruang kotse at manika. Ngayon naman ay pumunta tayo sa mga questions. Number 1. Who received gifts during their birthday? Sagutan nyo nga daw kung sino ang nakatanggap ng mga regalo nung kanilang birthday. Base doon sa story natin. Number 2. Who gave them the gifts? Sino naman ang nagbigay sa kanila nito? 3. Where did she hide the gifts? Saan daw tinago ng tita nila ang regalo? 4. What gifts did they receive? Ano kaya ang nakuha regalo ng bawat isa sa kanila? 5. What they did do when they found the gifts? Ano daw ginawa nila nung nakita nila ang kanilang mga regalo? Masasagot nyo yan kung nakinig kayong mabuti sa ating kwento.
Okay class, get your pen and notebook and answer learning task number 1. Read the poem below. You may also listen to it by asking your parents or guardian to read it for you. Then arrange the given events in their correct order or sequence. Do this in your notebook. Ang gagawin nyo dito sa learning task number 1, babasahin muna natin yung poem or yung tula. And then, kung hindi nyo pa rin naintindihan, maaari kayong magpatulong na basahin ng inyong parents or guardian at nang maipaliwanag sa inyo kung paano aayusin yung mga pangyayari dito. At iayos nyo ngayon ang correct order nila or sequence sa inyong notebook. And then, let's start this story or the poem. At the zoo. I went to the zoo with my cousins and friends. First, we saw a deer with its long antlers. Then we saw a giraffe with towering neck and long legs. Then we saw a monkey jumping from tree to tree. And then an elephant with ears waving at me. Then a crocodile with long tail and a sharp teeth. Then a bear as white as milk. Then a zebra with stripe from head to feet. And then a big lion sleeping in its den. It was a wonderful and amazing day at the zoo. Okay, ang title ng ating poem ay At the Zoo. Ang unang nakita nila kasama ang kanyang pinsan at kaibigan ay ang deer. Sumunod naman si giraffe. At sumunod niyang nakita si monkey na nagja-jump mula sa isang puno papunta sa ibang mga puno. So, ang sumunod niya namang nakita ay si elephant. Then, the crocodile. Sumunod naman ang bear and ang zebra. Sumunod, nakita niya ang big lion na nasa kanyang kulungan. Masayang magpunta at nakakamangha ang mga hayop sa loob ng zoo. Siguro ay nakarating na rin kayo dito mga bata. Ngayon naman ay ating sagutin ang mga sumusunod. Ang gagawin nyo, pumunta na tayo doon sa ating activity or learning task number 1. Okay, class, this is our learning task number 1. Look at the pictures below. Using the poem that you have just read or listened to, tell which animal that characters first saw. Write A for the first animal, B for the second, and so on. Ang gagawin natin dito, ilalagay natin yung mga letters na una nating nakitang hayop. Diba ang sabing unang nakita ay ang deer. Siya ay nasa number 2. Ilalagay nyo ang kanyang letter ay A kasi siya ang unang character na nakita doon sa ating poem na binasa kanina. At yung mga susunod na hayop, tingnan nyo lang dyan at lalagyan nyo to ng letter B yung pangalawa, letter C yung pangatlo, D naman yung pang-apat na animal, E yung susunod hanggang makarating kayo sa letter H. Gawin nyo ito sa inyong notebook. Sunod-sunod lang siya. Understanding short stories and or poems. Short stories and poems are important sources of life lessons. As a young child, you are expected to read and listen to different stories and poems appropriate to your age or level. After reading or listening to them, it is necessary that you are able to understand their meaning and details. One of the ways to show that you understand the story or poem that you have read is by noting details. You can note important details by describing the characters, the setting, when and where the story happened, and the events. And then, next is the sequencing events. It is also a good way to show that you have understood the story or the poem. You may rearrange the events by identifying which one occurs first. Which one is the second? And so on. Sabi dito, mauunawaan natin ang isang maikling kwento o ang isang tula kasi ito ay dapat nating naaabot ng kakayahan ng ating mga bata base sa kanilang edad o kakayahan. Pagkatapos nating basahin at pakinggan ang mga story na yan, kailangan na intindihan natin kung ano ba ang kanilang ibig sabihin at ang mahalagang pangyayari sa loob ng kwento o ng tula. May mga paraan tayo para malaman at maintindihan natin ang isang story or poem. Ang una, dapat lahat ng mahalagang pangyayari ay maisulat nyo mula sa kanyang characters, yung mga tauhan sa kwento o sa tula, the setting, ang setting ay kung saan, nangyari at kailan, ang story, and then the events, kung ano yung mga pangyayari doon sa loob ng story or poem. Kapag sinabi naman nating sequencing events, ito rin ay nagpapakita na naintindihan natin yung story. Kapag inayos natin ang events, madali nating malalaman kung alin ba dapat ang nauna, ang sumunod, at ang hanggang sa kanyang mga katapusan. Dapat naintindihan nyo ang isang kwento o ang isang tula. Inferring the feelings and characteristics of the characters is also an example of showing understanding of the poem or story. Through this, you are able to determine the feelings of the characters in a story or poem. You will know if the characters are happy, afraid, or sad. Other ways of showing understanding of what we have read or listened to are by identifying the cause and effect and determining the problem and the solution. Also, dramatizing and predicting the possible ending are some of the best ways to show how well one understands a poem or story. You can make prediction by guessing what will happen next. Dito naman, kapag nag-infer tayo, kailangan maintindihan natin kung ano ang nais ipahayag ng isang kwento o ng isang tula. Malalaman natin kung ang characters ba ay nagpapakita ng iba't ibang damdamin, kung siya ba ay masaya, natatakot, o nalulungkot. And then, meron pa tayong ibang paraan para malaman kung naintindihan natin ang ating nabasa o napakinggang story or poem sa pamamagitan ng pag-identify ng kanilang cause and effect. Ito yung sanhi at bunga. And determining the problem and the solution, kung paano nagkaroon ng problema at paano nalutas ang problema. Maaari din nating i-dramatize or kuhanin natin ang possible ending para mas madali nating maintindihan yung tula or story. Ipipredict natin sa pamamagitan ng panghuhula ano ba ang pwedeng mangyari sa susunod. Learning task number 2. Read the story below. You may also listen to it by asking your parents or guardian to read it for you. Then answer the question that follow. Do this in your notebook. Our story is about Spotty and Purry. There was an animal shelter in our barangay. It took care of different animals, including cats and dogs. But due to lack of financial support, it decided to close or shut down. Many animals would be affected by this. So my family decided to adopt a puppy and a kitten. They were really cute and calm. They did not have names yet. I wanted to give them nice names. Wilson, my brother, asked me, "What names will you give them?" "I will give them names that best describe their characteristics," I replied. "The puppy has black spots in its body, so I named it Spotty. The kitten has white long fur so I called it furry. I was so happy with the names I gave them. I will love and take care of them. They have finally found their new home. Ang title ng ating kwento ay tungkol kay Spotty and Furry. Sila ay nakatira sa animal shelter sa isang barangay. Nag-aalaga sila doon ng mga iba't ibang klase ng animals or ng hayop kagaya ng pusa at mga aso. Kaya lang nagkakaroon ng kakulangan sa pinansyal. Kaya nag-decide ang barangay na i-close muna or i-shutdown yung animal shelter. Maraming hayop ang naapektuhan. Kaya nag-decide ang family na mag-adopt na lang ng puppy at ng kitten. Sila ay napaka-cute. Wala silang pangalan, kaya binigyan nila ito ng pangalan. Ang sabi nung isa, ipinangalan ko ang puppy kasi marami siyang black spot sa kanyang body o sa katawan, kaya ang tawag niya ay Spotty. Yung pusa naman, ang pangalan niya ay Furry kasi may mga haba itong fur sa kanyang pisngi. Kaya ang pangalan niya ay Furry. Siya ay tuwang-tuwa nang binigyan ng pangalan. Mahal nila ang mga hayop na kinuha nilang alagaan. At ngayon, nakatira na ito sa kanilang bahay. Iyan ang kwento natin. Ngayon naman ay pumunta tayo sa ating gagawin at sagutin ang mga tanong. For question number 1, what is the reason why the animal shelter shut down? A. Overcrowded shelter. B. Lack of fund. C. Destroyed buildings. Number 2. What did the family do to save some animals? A. Adopted a puppy and a kitten. B. Gave donations to the shelter. C. Bought a puppy and a kitten. 3. What animals did they adopt? A. A kitten and a puppy. B. A rabbit and a kitten. C. A puppy and a bird. 4. What characteristic does the kitten have? A. Has black spots in its body. B. Has white long fur. C. Loves to eat. 5. What characteristic does the puppy have? A. Has black spot in its body. B. Has white long fur. C. Loves to eat. Kung napakinggan nyo ang ating kwento kanina tungkol kay Spotty and Furry, madali nyong masasagutan ang mga questions na ito. Ngayon naman ay pumunta tayo sa susunod na mga tanong. Ang ilalagay nyo muna dito ay letter lang. Isulat nyo ang 1 to 10. For number 6 question, who is the speaker's brother? A. Spotty. B. Wilson. C. Furry. 7. What is the name of the puppy? A. Spotty. B. Wilson. C. Furry. 8. What is the name of the kitten? A. Spotty. B. Wilson. C. Furry. 9. Who is the speaker in the story? A. I. B. Spotty. C. Wilson. 10. What did the speaker feel about adopting and naming the puppy and the kitten? A. Sad. B. Afraid. C. Happy. Learning task number 3. Read the stories below. Identify what would happen next in each situation as shown by the illustrations. Write the letters of your answers in your notebook. 1. Jason has a dog named Bantay. One rainy day, it got all muddy. Jason decided not to let Bantay in, as it might make the house dirty. What do you think happened next? Ang sabi dito, si Jason daw ay may alaga. Ito ay si Bantay. Ngayon, umuulan at ang aso niya ay putikan. Si Jason, sabi niya, wag munang pumasok si Bantay kasi magiging dirty yung kanilang house. Ano ang susunod ng mangyayari? Piliin nyo ang letra ng tamang sagot base dyan sa mga pictures na ipinakita. Ano ang gagawin niya? Dahil madumi siya, tingnan nyo mabuti ang susunod na mangyayari. Ito ba ay A, B, or C? Number 2. Paula was working on her assignment. When she finished it, her mother had already prepared their food for dinner. Her mother called her after. What do you think happened next? Sabi dito, si Paula ay naggagawa ng kanyang assignment. Nung natapos na siya, si mother niya naman ay naghahanda ng pagkain para sa kanilang hapunan. And then, tinawag na siya ng kanyang nanay. Ano ang susunod nilang gagawin? A. Tignan nyo yung nasa larawan. B. And letter C. Alin dyan ang susunod? Learning task number 4. We're going to read the story below and then answer the question that follow. Do this in your notebook. The title of the story is about the missing book. It was late in the evening. Anthony was very sad. He could not find his English book. What he remembered was he placed it on his study table. Check your cabinet, his mother told him. Maybe it is there. Anthony opened his cabinet. He checked all the drawers. He removed all his clothes to check if the book was there. Unfortunately, it was not there. He was really lonely. Check your bag, his father said, but it was not there too. I have to find it, Anthony whispered. I went to the bahay kubo in the garden to study there. He suddenly remembered. I have to check it there. His mother joined him in looking for his book in the said bahay kubo beside their house. It was there. His English book was there. I found it, Anthony shouted. He thanked his mother and father for helping him find his book. He then finished the last part of his assignment and placed his book in his bag. He was so happy for finding his most precious book. And that's the end of the story. Now let us try to answer the question. 1. What is your most favorite part of the story? Tell why this part is your most favorite scene. 2. Just like Anthony, have you experienced losing something very important? What item did you lost? How did you find it? For additional activity, let us try to answer this. In your own words, retell and share this story to your parents or guardians. After retelling it, ask them if you have shared all important details of the story. Ang gagawin natin dito sa ating karagdagang gawain ay ipapakwento nyo ulit ang story nito. Pagkatapos ipakwento, sagutan nyo at ishare nyo yung mga mahalagang pangyayari doon sa story. Kung talagang alam nyo or naintindihan nyo ang story. Kapag nagawa nyo, Binabati ko kayo dahil may natutunan na naman kayo kay Teacher Malou.
Ang bidyong ito ay ginawa para sa aking mag-aaral, para sila ay gabayan sa pagsagot ng Modyul sa panahon ng pandemiyang COVID-19. Ako nga pala si Teacher Malou. Maraming salamat po.